Demands my loading all the previous workouts for the last week or two. Anyway, today is going to be about jump training. If people pull this up and they haven't heard me, if they didn't come on early and you heard the word jump training, you're probably going to turn it off. You're the very one that should keep it on. So here we go. We're going to get right into it as I tell you what I'm doing. Okay. I'm barefooted, but here's the deal. I have a carpet. I have a very spongy pad here. So if you're barefooted and you have a carpet or a spongy pad, that may be all you need. However, if you are having feet problems, I will do anything to just get you up on your feet and moving. And if that requires you to have shoes on, so be it. So what do I have? I'm going to show you what I have. There's a couple of different balls that you need to have wherever you are most of the time. If you're watching TV, if you're doing computer, sitting and reading, it's a spongy type of a ball, which I have these and I can find them. I got them in a PE supply place. See, these just don't ever wear out. And then this, you can just find it anywhere at any toy type. This is firm. Okay, so the two types of balls are very important to keep your mobility. So just know that, and so you might be saying, well, I don't have one of those firm balls. Well, if you have a weighted ball, that would work. So we're going to do two things right now. Before we start to really address the jumping aspect that I'm telling you about, and as I was talking to, do you see what I'm doing right now? What am I doing? Here's a chair. I have my hand on it. I have my foot on this pad. I'm barefooted. I bend and I put my foot on this ball. It could be a can of food that you're rolling. See that? So you have your hand here, pushing down. Don't pull it, okay? Drop your shoulders, take a big breath through your nose, bend. Where do you bend? You bend at your knee and you push your hip back a little. See that? And then I put the ball of my foot right on that ball and I roll it as far as I can to the heel. What does that make me do over here? It makes me lower to go way out, and then it makes me come back up. See that? And I'll do it a couple of times until I feel this muscle start to burn. That's what I'm looking for. And some of you might say, wait a minute, Jeannie, this is not our loading day. I said, no, but this is our mobility day. And what is more central to mobility than preserving your bones? You preserve your bones, you preserve your muscle. They work together. Okay, see what I'm doing? I'm telling you, I'm getting quite a burn here. And I'm just rolling on that ball from the ball of my foot to my heel. And it's so much that I have to quit now. So I'm going to take this foot that I just loaded, and I loaded primarily here and my foot, okay? And I'm just going to turn it out and turn it out like that. See that? Just a little press, toe down, and now you're ready to go to the other foot. So I'm going to bring the ball over here, and again, it could be a can of food. That will roll, and it's firm enough that it doesn't just collapse on you. So what am I doing? If you're not careful, you're going to go like this, okay? Drop that shoulder, okay? Be mindful of that. Big breath. And when you take a breath, breathe in as much as you can and do one more little squeeze of breath in, okay? Kathy was talking about that the other day. And if you're listening to any breathing teacher, trainer, whatever, you breathe in through your nose and then a little more. And you don't have to do it every time, but do it when you can. So what am I doing? I'm simply rolling from the ball of my foot. I'm doming now, and now I have to go all the way to the heel but not lose control. And do you see what I have to do here? I have to bend and bend just a little bit. My rib cage is up. I'm breathing and I'm feeling it right through here, and you're feeling it in your foot. Because as you go down, in order to roll that ball or the can of food out, see, I'm pointing down with my toe right now. Then I roll back, and you're going to feel quite a load. Now, this is my hip replace side, okay? And when you're working, you've had a hip replaced, and you're trying to work through the muscles of the thigh, you're like, wow, I don't feel the sensation there like I did on the other leg. And some of you have double hips, so you're for sure, sometimes it takes a little while, a few repetitions to get into really feeling that muscle contract. Take a big breath, drop your shoulders through the nose. Here we go. See, I'm doming. Now I'm going all the way to the heel. I have to bend, 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 bend. I'm working my toes on this leg. I'm working my quad, everything. Take a big deep breath. So this is prepping you for the jump training that I talked about at the very beginning. So people that will be pulling this up on YouTube, or I'm going to say, you have your joints replaced, you have arthritis, you have osteoporosis. You need to do some jump training. Well, many people will click it right off. You're the very one that needs to watch this, because I am standing here working this foot, working this hip replace, rolling my foot that's on my knee replace side. And I'm telling you, I'm feeling muscles through there that I hadn't felt for a bit. Okay, so come back, point the foot down, point the foot down. You have to recover, okay? Now, let's go back to the jump training issue, okay? Typically, when I didn't have hips replaced and I was gonna jump from our stepping, our step thing, we might start and we might take 1 foot at a time just to get used to it, okay? So what does jump training have to do with mobility? Isn't that strength work, and we shouldn't be doing that today? I'm like, well, jump training actually has everything to do with mobility. Okay, what am I doing? I'm stepping down now with my heel first. So I'm doing a modified, it's called eccentric motion, because I'm slowing down, I'm stepping down, I'm elongating those muscles in my foot. I'm coming down and I'm not going toe first, I'm going heel first. So there again, I'm loading the very muscles that we are going to affect when we do some of these modified moves to help you get the benefit of load on your bones, to preserve your bones. Now, of course, if you always, you have to put your safety features intact. Have a chair, be by a wall, do it 1 leg at a time. Maybe you can't do 2 feet at a time when we start going into some of the other moves. But you see this right here? We're doing an eccentric move. So my shoulders are down, my rib cage is up, I'm breathing. As I go down and I help myself go into that heel, then go ahead and step through, then pull back, and then come back up. Okay, so how you're using your foot is everything here. How you're using your knee, what you're doing with your hip, what are you doing with your back? Okay, as I'm stepping down into that heel, and then I go ahead and roll into a normal walking pattern and then come back. If you're doing this barefooted, I'm hoping, like everything, this will become one of your many things that you can choose from to do for that 1 to 2 minute, it could even go to 3 minutes movement to address your metabolic syndrome. Okay, so what I'm doing is the eccentric elongation of your muscles involved in walking, involved in jumping, involved in so many things. And here's the thing, if you're doing this barefooted, man, are you working your foot to keep, and you can have your hand hovering on that chair so that you don't over or under lean. All you have to do is tap on it to right you. Sometimes that's all you need. Okay, so I'm in a hip hinge, a tiny hip hinge, and then I bend my knees, then I put my heel forward first. Try doing it with no assistance. It's not easy, especially if you've had knee injury, hip injury, foot injury, osteoporosis, joints replaced. Okay, let's get real here and understand you got to modify. We got issues. Why? Because we've lived a little life. That's why. And so understand, I'm giving you techniques and I'm doing it with you that will really affect how you move through your day. Okay? And this is the practice. It's moving differently. So I'm hip hinging, breath. I put that heel down. I come down. I roll into that foot. I try really hard to do it back and forth, not using an assistance, but it's there if I need it. And so now, after we've done this kind of eccentric loading, let me tell you, if you do this on your flight of stairs, going down and up and do a couple of flights of stairs, you know, that'd be 3 sets of 10. Eccentric loading, eccentric movement. And as you're coming down, just slow it down and go heel first, that toe is up. It's only the very last part that we roll into the front of the foot, but everything else has to be in order, in line. So keep that ear over your shoulder, take breaths through your nose. Use this if you need to, but try to make your foot control the foot that's on the pad. Here we go. See, I'm going to go down and immediately you want to put your hand here. So I'm saying it's there if you need it, but don't automatically grab it. Make your muscles control your movement. Okay, pull those toes in, really grip, bring that heel down, then roll into the toe. So you see that this is a valuable movement. Okay, now I'm going to go to the side. Now I'm doing this barefooted today, and I'm going to do jumps, some modifications of jump training. So I'm going to go side to side. I've already done eccentric motion, and then I'm going to go back off the back end, and I'm going to really flex my toe and then push into the heel. Okay, so when you're on this pad, if you can just remember, I want to come off of all the angles. We just came down forward, eccentric loading. Then we went side to side, right? And back up. Your foot is used differently. Okay, now I'm stepping back. I'm going to go with my toes very flexed. Then I'm going to push into the heel. And you got to keep those feet straight on for this, okay? Tight tummy, drop your shoulders, you're breathing. So right now, start to slow down because there's many of you out there that like to get going and just get it done. Drop your shoulders. The hand hold is here if I need it, but don't immediately grab it. Go to one side, shift, put your toes down. Now slow down, really flex those toes. A little pressure, then roll into the heel. See that? Yeah, then come back up, take big breaths. Okay, I'm gonna step back pretty far. I'm gonna really flex those toes in the back. I'm going to do a little pressure, and then I'm going to go to the heel. Okay, and this is here if I need it, but I'm not going to automatically grab it. I know we get into a habit of doing that. So just on this pad, we've done, I didn't point it out, but in doing any of these, you have to, in fact, for a split second, you have to be doing what? Yeah, a single leg stance. And so even this kind of a side step, you have to be standing for a split second with one leg. And you have to do that in all these other ones. So it's a really good beginning to better mobility. Just using your little pad here and stepping in different ways. So I'm going to go to the very edges of my balance pad. Okay, I'm going to shift. I'm going to shift. I'm going to bring the heel up. I'm going to bring the heel up. I'm going to bring the heel up and bring the heel up. And I'm going to really start going into now transverse move or turning, a twisting. Not really twisting, but you're doing a transverse move. That means turn, okay? And I'm just tapping and I'm shifting and I'm tapping and I'm coming into the toe box, then to the heel. And I'm as wide as I can be, okay? I hope you're doing this with me. I'm gonna do every one of these. At first, you look at this, you think, well, this is a nothing thing to do. This is the foundation of mobility, what I'm doing today, okay? Now, instead of standing on the very edges of your balance pad, I'm gonna stand very narrow. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have the balls of my feet, where that knuckle is, touch, okay? It's very difficult to get the heels in together. You can try. Your ankles and heels, yeah. Don't roll your feet in though. Okay, so now I'm very narrow, right? Okay, being narrow, I want to just bring one heel up. I have my hand here if I need it. And I'm not bringing my toes off the ground yet, but I'm very narrow stanced, okay? See, I'm gonna come up and then I'm gonna come right down. Now, everything's going good, right? Big breath, have your hand right over the chair, not gripping it, but now I'm gonna bring the heel up and I'm gonna close my eyes, okay? So what am I doing? Well, I've just thrown a little curve into this I call it a needle stance. So you're going to bring your heel up. So you haven't even brought the whole foot up yet. And I'm in a very narrow stance. Tight tummy, okay? Keep your hand over the chair. Your eyes are closed. Okay, now go to the ball of the foot. Now bring the ball of the foot up and hold. The supporting leg is tiny, tiny bit bent. Take a big breath. Keep your eyes closed. Your hand is just lightly on the chair, and then bring it down. Bring it down. Open your eyes. I'm telling you, closing your eyes, you can do one at a time if you want to. And I don't want you to fall. That's why I want you to have your hand either on a wall or next to a wall, a counter, a chair, a pole, something. But then check your stance. Okay, so tighten up. Drop your shoulders, take a breath. Shift, and you bring the heel up first. Close your eyes, and then bring your toe off the pad. And you're trying to maintain your position. And you can do one eye if you want to. And you're trying to hold it for 5 to 15 seconds. That's what you're trying to do. Hold it from 5 to 15 seconds and not wobbling all over the place. You actually can train yourself. Your muscles, your proprioceptive muscles, all the muscles and the readout sensory neurons all over especially in your joints, are doing a readout. When you go into this kind of a stance and you bring those toes up and you have one eye shut and one eye open, and you have this right where you can get it, you are working all over to say, where are we? Where are we in space? And that's the training of balance. Balance training has to be very specific, okay? So that's what I'm doing, but then we're gonna morph into our jump. So see how I'm gonna switch? I have my hand here, big breath, soft knee, yeah? It's on the toe. Now bring the toe up and shut the other eye. You're on one leg, shut the other eye. Yeah, I lightly have my hand on my chair because if I didn't, yeah, you're gonna go south very quickly. Take a breath, drop your shoulders, breath, drop your shoulders, breath, drop your shoulders, and come back down. Try to do 5 seconds, then 10 seconds, and then 15 seconds, and not fall off your perch. That's the work. Okay, let's go back to jump training now. We've warmed up our joints a bit by doing some of these tasks. I'm on a 2-inch platform, correct? If I go and put my foot down, I've just created like an impact. See? I put my foot down, I come back. Now, my chair, adjust it if you need to, have it right where you can see it. Try not to use it if you don't need it. When you go like this and bring it back up, see, this, so it's a flat foot and it's an impact, okay? This is a modification of a jump training. Now, if you're jumping rope, a lot of times if you're very proficient at jumping rope, which I used to do all the time in my class. I don't know if Kay's on today, but she's had her share of jump rope training. But here's the deal. The need to load our bones and to have impact doesn't go away. And when you have joints replaced and you have arthritis and you have osteoporosis, we're moving through the world very carefully. No wonder our bones don't have any load on them and they get weaker and your muscles get weaker. So I took you through some pretty good balance and mobility work with our lower body. And now I'm doing a stomp right there. And some of you, I dare say, are even afraid to do that. And I don't know if you can hear the impact. You hip hinge, you keep yourself tight in your tummy, keep your shoulders down. And when you go to put your foot down, it's the whole foot. We're not trying to mitigate impact. And when I do jump training for jumping rope, the first thing you do is to teach your kids how to mitigate the impact, which you have to do if you're going to do it if you're going to do a 5-10 minute jump rope. You can't do some of the moves unless you get into your toes and you can spring. You teach them to spring off your toes, which we're going to do here in a minute. But right now, I want you to concentrate on that kind of an impact. Boom, like you're stomping down, okay? And act like you're really trying to create some force. So I'm doing this with the knowledge that many of you have arthritis, you have osteoporosis, you have multiple joints replaced. This is my hip replaced side. This is my knee replaced side. But I know that this kind of a impact makes a difference. And we have to modify. We can't do a lot of high impact jumping. But in fact, high impact jumping is the very thing that will keep your bones more dense. Okay, so just this. So how do you do this in earnest? How do you do that stomp? Well, I would say pretend you got a big old cockroach down there and you want to kill it. Okay, see, like that. Now, granted, we're barefooted, and I don't think Nancy would stomp on a cockroach with her bare foot. I might, but she might not. Anyway, I had to do it, Nancy. Okay, see that? I hope you're hearing the impact. This is my knee replace side. This is my hip replace side. It's not hurting it. But that impact is what you're looking for. So let me tell you something. I did all the front work to get you to this point so that you could actually stomp. You've got to keep your tummy tight. You've got to keep your shoulders down. Take a breath. The foot has to be pretty flat, because you don't want it on the heel. You don't want it on the toes. You want to really stomp with the whole foot. And then if you can bring your whole body into it, great. Boom, just like that. This is here if you need it. Take a breath. Boom. See that? It's a whole foot slam. Yeah, slam. Just like that. Tight tummy, drop your shoulders. Boom. Boom. The readout that your osteoclast and osteoblast, which is part of bone building, are reading out. Oh my goodness. Now this crazy woman is pounding us. So what do we have to do? We have to ramp up production. That's what we have to do. See what I'm doing? Just like that. Just like that. Just like that. If you make this one of your moves for to change your metabolic profile, and you're going to be breathing more. If you do even 1 minute, if you do 30 seconds of this kind of stomping, I'm doing this from a 2-inch platform. I'm not coming down that far. See, but I'm tight in my tummy. My shoulders are down. I'm braced, and I'm stomping with a whole foot. Okay? I'm very sure of my positioning, and I just press. Now I could vary this again by putting on my weight vest, by picking up my weights. There's your progressive, okay? Because after a while, if you do it with your own body weight, then the improvement will stop, because there's no change in weight load. Do you see what I'm saying? So all I would have to do is pick up some weights. At first though, take about 2 weeks and really get into the habit of doing this kind of a stomp. It's a modified jump training. That's what it is. Okay, so if I told many of you who have knee problems, hip problems, etc., joints replaced, to stand here and jump down, you would like, I can't do that. I know it. So I'm telling you, this is one way to get that weight loading and to modify it so that you can actually do this. Okay, so if any of you really want to hear the research behind this whole thing on jump training and how to mitigate and how to improve your osteoporosis risk, I can give you that information. Just let me know. Okay, I'm going to do 3 more. See, and every time I come up, I squeeze my butt. See, like that. Squeeze. Boom. Squeeze. Boom. Squeeze. Boom. Flat foot. Boom. And squeeze. Yeah, just like that. Okay, take a big deep breath. So I'm going to come here, and this is our mobility day. I have in front of me my 10-pound jugs. This would be like picking up a household item. One of the ways you can vary your weight loading is just do this. Pick up household items, carry it around, put it down, turn, pick it up, go from side to side. Don't do the same thing every time. A lot of people will ask me, well, how come you change your program every single workout a little bit? Because I don't want you to get used to it. I want you to keep shocking your body. Now, when you have some of these issues, like multiple joints replaced, shoulder issues, you know, everything, osteoporosis for sure, arthritis for sure, you have to do it modified. That's what I'm doing. But look at here. See this? I'm putting all of my movement training now into picking up a simple household item, a gallon jug. It could be a pail. It could be a tool. It could be a fry pan. You see what I just did? And I moved around and I go to put it down. And I keep my chin tucked and I go from side to side. So I'm varying and I'm moving around. Now I'm going to come up over my little balance pad. See, I just keep bending down, picking it up, putting it down. Something that simple. This is 10 pounds, okay? If you fill it up with any liquid, it's 10 pounds. This is a gallon jug, as I pointed out before. And then I can walk around and put it down and get ready to pick it up again. And then I'm going to go over my little balance pad and come down. And I'm just thinking about how my mobility is going. So it's this kind of weight loading that is absolutely essential if you're going to preserve your bones and your muscles, okay? Yes, a good diet. Yes, making sure you're getting good protein in your diet, for sure. But then you got to load, and you have to do it appreciably, okay? So now I've got my bar. I think most of you have your bars at hand ready. I'm going to turn my chair around because I'm going to use it in just a second. So here I am. I'm going to bring it up and I'm just going to rest my hand on my head. But let's talk about this move, okay? First of all, I'm going to be shifting. And all I'm going to be doing is bringing my foot off the ground. That's all. Don't go fast. Don't go fast. Keep your tummy tight. My thumb side is resting on my head. And now, if you glance out the corner of your eye, you should not be able to see your elbow. If you're seeing your elbow, you got to try to get it back. You got to try to get this back. See, this elbow's back, and this elbow is in line with the side of me. I'm not doing this, and I'm not doing this. It's right here. So here's my thumb side. I'm grasping the pole. I'm rocking and just lifting the toe up. I'm keeping my tummy super tight, and I am on purpose pushing this elbow back, okay? Now drop your shoulders. I know when you do all that, your shoulders creep up. Drop them. Okay, keep that the elbow open. Okay, now bring it to the top of the head, right here. Tight tummy, and switcheroo, switch sides. Same thing. If you look to this side where your elbow is, and if you can see it, then you've got to work on getting it back further, okay? It's drifted, and you didn't even know it, all right? Take a breath, drop your shoulders. Take a breath, drop your shoulders. All I'm doing is shifting, and I'm lifting my toe, and I'm keeping my elbows back, both arms, okay? Take a big breath, take a big breath. Take a big breath. Now relax and bring it behind your head. Just let it roll right down behind your head, right there. See, I want you to keep it on the occipital bone. Now push against the pole with your head. So you're doing retraction and protraction. Right now, we are doing retraction. And we're pushing against the pole. Okay, push against the pole. Push against the pole. Move around a little bit. Push, and you're keeping your chin tucked, but you're pushing against that pole as you're keeping your elbows headed down. Then bring it back up and bring it back down. That should have got your attention. You should have really felt it through here. Something that simple, but it's the way you do it that really, really matters, okay? So I wanted to do that with the pole first, and then we're gonna go into, it's called the ultimate core, okay? So after you've walked around, done some of that eccentric loading, down the stairs, up the stairs, just find a chair, and here's the deal. You can go right down into the floor on this one, or if you've got a broken arm, okay, you can go against the wall. It's much easier to do some of this stuff against the wall than on the chair or in the floor for obvious reasons. Okay, so I'm just saying, if you want to move, you can move. Just put your hand against the wall when it comes to that point, okay? So I'm going to take a shoulder, a little wider than shoulder width stance, okay? Bring it in just a little bit. I'm going to bring my hands just right here, and I'm going to come right here to my forehead. And then I'm going to go over my head with my elbows. Okay, you see that? So this is a different way to think about it, because the minute I do this, people want to rip their hands all the way up. You don't need to do that. Drop your shoulders. Make sure you're in a 4-point stance, meaning you have as much pressure on the back of your heels, this point, and the front of your foot, this point. See, that's what I mean. My knees are soft, number one, to start with. Put my hands together and bring my hands over my head. See, I already prepared you for this, right? So when they're over your head, you don't want to flare your elbows. You want to bring them in, all right? Then I'm going to go back over my head pretty far. So now my elbows are right on either side of my head, and they're pushing back. See that? Take a big deep breath. It's at this point that I push my hips forward and I reach my hands back, okay? So this is not when you do not want to tighten your hips here. Keep your chin down, your shoulders down, reach, 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 reach. Now bring it back to your head. The hands are behind the head, just like that. Bring it down and soften your knees as you start to go down. Now, I might go to the floor, but I'm going to show you modifications on the way. So I might come right here, okay? Maybe I want to come right here. I'm going to keep my knees soft as I approach the chair, the wall, or the floor. Keep my knees soft. When I get there, whether it's the floor or the chair, this is when I straighten my legs and bring my toes up one at a time. So you could be here or you could be here. Whatever's going to work for you, okay? So if I'm going to go on the floor, my knees are going to be soft, and I'm coming down here, and now I'm going to straighten them, okay? And now I'm going to come down and just take one leg back. I'm going to take one leg back, and I'm going to come right down here. See that? And I could be that way right here. I could take my hands right here, and I'm going to come right into here and come right down here. So I'm trying to work balance. So I could be on the floor like I am right now, or I could be right here. Okay? Take a big deep breath. Then I'm going to come back up right here. And I'm going to bring that leg in. And I'm going to go to the other leg. I'm doing that right now. Okay? I could go back around and do this whole thing again. But I'm trying to get both sides in as we go down. This right here, this part that I'm at right here, when you go from this move and you go down, whether it's on a chair or a wall or the floor, this is where people run into problems because they don't know how to modify. And I stretch my legs here now, and I bring my toe up, my toe up. Now I'm going to put the other leg back. See, I'm going to slip this leg back. And I bend this, then I bring it out, and I push down, okay? So I go both sides. Then before I get up, I'm going to pull my leg back. I'm on all fours, and I'm going to go ahead and go into a high plank. If that's not going to work for you, then you have your hands here, and you just do a low plank. Or if I had my hand broken and I couldn't be using it, I'd go against the wall, and I would just do this against the wall with one hand. See that? So I'm showing you modifications as we go. But if I'm in the floor, I've gone from a one leg stance, I could be on my elbows, to a high arm plank. So here I am in the high arm plank, and I might hang on here for a little bit. Then I might put my knee down, and I might take a rest. And then I might go back, and I might go into a fist, and I might be at my chair like this. And then I'm going to go into that plank again. And I might take one leg at a time. If I can do two, I'm going to do two. Take a big breath. Take a big breath. Take a big breath. Put your knees down. Come down. Take a little rest. Right there. And then if I'm in the floor, I'll go back down. I'll just crawl down like a little worm. Put my hips down. Bring my elbows under. Keep my chin tucked. But I can do all of this with my hands on a chair, okay? Then I'm going to come back into it, drop my shoulders, come back up, 2 feet, press. I'm right here. Press into the heels, press forward, into the heels, press forward. Bring one leg up. Just press down. I'm going to do both legs. I'm going to press down. I could be holding the chair if I needed to. Okay. And after I've done both legs, then I'm going to take that stance again. I'm going to go into that straight leg, but this getting down is the knees are bent. Then we straighten it. Then we pull the toes up and up and up and up and up. Take a big deep breath. Bring them up and up and up. Bend the knees. As you're coming up, then you're going to push your hips forward, and you're going to bring those hands together and over the head again. And then you reach out. Take a big deep breath. Big deep breath. Big deep breath. Come out of that move. And you're good. Let's reset the shoulders. Thumbs are forward. And so here's my question. See, if I were in class with you right now, I would say, okay, tell me the last time you did 30 of these forward, and how long has it been since you did 30 of them backwards? So as I do this, do you see my shoulders? Yeah, my shoulders come right into the move. See, it's a straight arm. I'm softening my knees and standing back up. I feel pressure on all four corners of my feet. Okay, keep your shoulders down as you're doing the circling. Take a big deep breath. I'm thinking we're halfway, maybe something like that. Okay, so let's just do 5 more.
30.
Oh shoot. Okay, we'll switch. Okay, before you drop them, come right here. See this? Go into your W, take a little rest, drop your chin, all four corners of your feet. Now take them back and go thumb backwards. And start the move. But it comes from the shoulder. Don't miss that. I am telling you, I see so many people doing this. I walk through a club or I see somebody doing their own program and they're doing this. What are you doing? I'm trying to reset your shoulder, recover your shoulder. I'm telling you, if you would start doing this, slow it down and do it correctly and try to get 30, slow and controlled, but as you're doing it, feel all four corners of your feet. See, I'm shifting. I'm shifting as I bend my knee and straighten my knee. Okay, take a big breath. Keep the hands right out to the side. Don't let them come in front of you. Okay, try to keep them way back. Take a big deep breath. Bend and straighten. Another breath. Drop your shoulders. Yeah, keep them down as you're doing this.
31.
Oh dear, she got it. Okay, bring them down and go like this. See this? Little pendulum. Just a little, you're not lifting anything. You're doing a pendulum. Back and forth. Back and forth. Front, frontal, sagittal. Okay? Sagittal plane, frontal plane. Big breath. And you come back up. Okay. We did the beginning part of jump training. And Kay knows very well how to jump rope. But I'm gonna start embarking upon this to do the stomp, okay? And you have to be warmed up and ready to do that. So there you go. I hope you benefited from that. Let me take off the recording and then I'll go jump some more.